Welcome to G Fun Facts Online, where we unpack the science shaping our future. Today, we're talking about something straight out of science fiction, but it's happening right now. What if you had a perfect, virtual copy of your own brain? A digital twin that could act as a weather forecast for your neural activity, allowing doctors to test treatments, predict diseases, and fine-tune therapies, all without any risk to you. This isn't a movie plot. It's the groundbreaking field of the digital twin brain, and it's poised to completely change how we understand and treat the most complex object in the known universe. So, how do you build a brain inside a computer? It's a monumental task, a symphony of AI, big data, and neuroscience. It all starts with data, and lots of it. Researchers use a battery of neuroimaging techniques to gather information. Magnetic resonance imaging, or MRI, captures the brain's detailed structure. Diffusion tensor imaging maps out what's called the connectome, the intricate web of highways connecting different brain regions. Then, fMRI, or EEG scans record the brain's electrical activity over time, showing how it functions. For example, the EU-funded NeuroTwin project can start building a model with just 30 minutes of MRI data and 10 minutes of EEG readings. Once they have this data, scientists use the connectome as a structural scaffold, a blueprint for the virtual brain. Then comes the magic. Using complex mathematical models, they simulate the collective behavior of millions of neurons in each region. They tweak and tune this simulation until its virtual brain activity, like a virtual EEG, perfectly mirrors the real data from the patient. The goal is a dynamic model that thinks and acts just like the biological brain it's based on. And AI is turbocharging this process. A recent Stanford study even used AI models, similar to the ones powering ChatGPT, trained on the brain activity of mice watching movies, to create stunningly accurate digital twins of the visual cortex. This shows just how fast this technology is moving. The applications are already transforming medicine. Take epilepsy. For patients with drug-resistant epilepsy, a digital twin can be a lifesaver. Platforms like the Virtual Brain create a virtual epileptic patient, or VEP. This model simulates how and where seizures start and spread in an individual's brain. Surgeons can then use this virtual map to pinpoint the exact tissue to remove, maximizing the chance of stopping the seizures while minimizing damage to healthy tissue. It's also offering new hope for Alzheimer's disease. The NeuroTwin project is planning clinical trials to test personalized brain stimulation protocols designed by their digital twins. By simulating the effects of electrical stimulation on a virtual brain first, they hope to develop therapies that can restore healthy brain dynamics and slow the disease's progression. For Parkinson's disease, digital twins can help optimize a treatment called deep brain stimulation, or DBS. This involves implanting electrodes in the brain. Instead of risky trial and error on the patient, doctors can simulate DBS on the digital twin to find the perfect placement and settings for the electrodes before any surgery even begins. The potential extends to conditions like multiple sclerosis, where models can predict the onset of brain atrophy years before clinical symptoms appear, and to stroke rehabilitation, where they can track recovery and guide therapy. But of course, creating a perfect digital replica of the brain is not without its challenges. The sheer complexity demands enormous computational power, and integrating all the different data sources is a huge hurdle. And then there are the profound ethical questions. Who owns your digital twin? Who owns the data it's built from? In Europe, strict GDPR laws require patient consent, but it's a complex new territory. What about algorithmic bias? If the training data isn't diverse, it could lead to healthcare inequalities. And as these models get better at predicting our own minds, how much should we trust them? It's a philosophical shift. Some neuroethicists even suggest we call them digital cousins rather than twins, to remind us that they are models, not perfect copies. The digital twin brain represents an incredible convergence of neuroscience and artificial intelligence. A complete, conscious replica of a human brain is still a distant dream. but highly accurate, functional models for specific clinical problems are already here. These virtual brains are becoming indispensable tools, allowing us to simulate, predict, and personalize medicine in ways we could only imagine a decade ago. We aren't just building models, we're building a new future for brain health. Thanks for tuning in to Fun Facts Online.